Hey, y'all, this is Danny Kinsey, and you're listening to the Paige Roberts Show on Intercom Radio Network.
To the Paige Roberts Show. It is Wednesday, November the 14th, 2018. My featured artist today is CEO of Music City Hayride Show, Dean Holmen. I think I'm just going to cut to the chase and bring Dean on. Hey, Dean, how are you? And welcome back to the show.
Hey, we're doing fine here in freezing Nashville. We're going to have to toss an extra dog on the bed tonight.
I know that's right. It's not quite that cold down here in Athens, Georgia, but we've been feeling it. It hadn't been this cold in a while. I say that likely 40 degrees.
Yeah. It's cold here.
So, I'm sure it is there, and you're a little bit further north than me. So hello, Nashville. Right, Dean?
Hello, Nashville, and hello, Jill, if you're listening in from Wisconsin. Hope you found the link.
I shared it under a few of those posts out there. I know people still have a hard time in trying to figure out how to get here.
and I'm the box of rocks, and I have a hard time telling people, but I think I sent this to my friend up there in Wisconsin that wanted to tune in today.
Awesome. Well, I guess since we're doing shout-outs, I guess we can go ahead and give a shout-out to Howie Garrett. I know y'all did a show with Howie yesterday out there on the front porch, Hendersonville.
Yeah, and talk about cold. I forgot we do that outside on the porch, and it was cold. But we got it.
Yeah, it looked like. Go ahead.
I just said we got her done. It was chilly, but we got it done. But yeah, it's always fun to visit with Howie.
Yeah. Howie's been on the show before. It's been a while. I've been trying to get him back on. We have been so busy over here. But it's all good, right? It's always something to do.
That's for sure. Busy, busy, busy.
Always. Well, Dean, I guess what we can do, why don't we start out and let you tell our listeners about yourself and about go back however far you like and work your way up into your music career. Why don't we start there? But our calling number is 646-668-8941 if you want to call in. So, Dean, yeah, let's start there.
All righty. Well, like you just said, I'm the CEO. That means I clean the theater when it's done. But yeah, we run the Music City Hayride, so we're a nonprofit show, and we're supporting our veterans. Operation Stand Down Tennessee, also the Honor and Valor Foundation, and then we also support a group called Music and Memory, which is doing all kinds of wonderful things for the people that are suffering from dementia and Alzheimer's. And I'm real happy to say that this year we had a little bit better season than we did last year, and we're going to be able to double our charity amount that we're going to give to our charities this year. And, our last show of the season is this Friday evening at 7 p.m. here in Nashville at the Texas Troubadour Theater. $10 ticket gets you in the door, and 100% of all that money that comes in through the door, and then also all the tickets from the silent auction that Ruth runs, all goes to our charities. We keep none of that. Yeah.
Wow. That's a lot. That's a lot, because I know y'all don't really get paid for doing most everything that's done by charity.
Well, that's what I wanted it to be. To me, the word charity means you don't charge. But, we do have to pay our band, and we have to pay for the theater, and, there's licensing fees we have to cover and all that to do it. But, that all comes out of the donations that people give through our website. Those reoccurring donations is what runs our shows. And we give back 100% that comes in the door. We don't book a show unless it's paid for already.
Right. Well, why don't you tell us, take us into the Music City Hayride show and tell us a little bit about what some of the guests you've had on and what it takes to put on a good show.
Well, we've had a lot of people with very familiar names. Buddy Jewell has been on our show. Bobby G. Rice has been on there a few times. This week we got Margie Singleton. She was George Jones's first partner. In fact, I believe she just.
Awesome.
I think she released a box set on Bear Family Records of the George Jones and Margie Singleton duets. And boy, that's a priceless thing to have. those things are pretty much out of print nowadays, to get that kind of stuff, and you can still order that through Bear Family Records. But then we also put on a lot of rising artists, people that really should have made it, but either haven't, or their careers got cut short for one reason or another. But people that really do a great job in traditional country music, and we just want to try to keep it alive. That's the music that made Nashville famous. That put it on the map of traditional country music from years back, and we just want to keep it alive.
I saw on Ruth's list Marty Dunn. I have one of his songs.
Yeah, he's great. Yeah, he's actually one of Century 2, one of our sponsors, and he does a great job.
Well, why don't we?
Cool.
I have his Never Again. Why don't we play that?
Oh, that'd be good. Yeah, I'd love that.
All right, hold on the line, and then we'll come right back. Here's Marty Dunn, Never Again.
Never again. Once more I'll let you back in. I know how the story ends. I can't help myself. You'll break my heart, I know. Through my tears I watch you grow. And just like it's always been, I'll say never again. Each time you leave, I say I've had enough. But I must be addicted to your kind of love. I swear to myself, I'm gonna stand my ground. One look at you breaks my defenses down. Here comes never again. Once more I'll let you back in. I know how the story ends. I can't help myself. You'll break my heart, I know. Through my tears I watch you go. And just like it's always been, I'll say never again. I swear to myself, I'm gonna stand my ground. One look at you breaks my defenses down. And here comes never again. Once more I'll let you back in. And just like it's always been, I'll say never again. And just like it's always been, I'll say never again.
You are are listening to the Paige Roberts Show on Intercom Radio Network. We are broadcasting live off of Blog Talk Radio. Our call-in number is 646-668-8941. I know at the very beginning we played Dean Holmen's Dear Hank. Hey, Dean, why don't you tell us about that song?
Oh, yeah, that was kind of a neat story. I was trying to write a song about how music has changed in Nashville. And I was going to make the song about Judge D. Hay, which is the gentleman that basically started the opera. Kind of tell him about, how things are going and how disappointed I was in the music. And I just couldn't figure it out. It just didn't work out right, writing it that way. And then I remember on New Year's Day, 2002, going into 2003, it was the 50th anniversary of Hank Williams' passing. And I was all emotional that day. And I went down and set up at our VFW in Madison, Wisconsin there for our evening job. And then I come home and I watched some videos on, back then it was TNN. And I'm not going to mention an artist's name, but a song come on from Capitol Records, Nashville. And I'm telling you, Guns N' Roses are more country than that song was. And I was so disappointed. I went downstairs into my studio, and I got this big poster sitting down there of Hank Williams saying, "Good Lord willing and the creek don't rise, we'll see you New Year's Day, 1953. Well, he never made it to that show because he passed away on New Year's Eve, 1952. And so I picked up my guitar and I strummed the chord and I said, "Oh, Hank, would you look what they did?" And I said, "Hey, there's the song." So I sat down and I wrote the verse and the chorus to that song that afternoon, went and played that New Year's Eve gig, come home at about 3:15 in the morning, wrote the second verse and finished her up and sent it down to Nashville. And it's been a good song for me. A lot of people have already recorded it. And it's put quite a few biscuits and beans on the table over the years since we first did it. But yeah, it was everything I wrote back then was, my first CD was called True to Life. I lived every one of those songs or thought about living every one of them anyway. So most of them, it happened in real life. And that was the one there. That song came to me in about 2 hours' time. I finally finished it, and I'd been working on it for a year and couldn't get it done.
Awesome. Well, Dean, I know this comes up a lot on my shows, but how do you feel about now and how things are going with the country music, and especially traditional country music? Because I know it's taking a turn and things like that. I mean, how do you feel about that when you see that?
Well, and there's nothing wrong with any of the music that's coming out of Nashville these days. Myself, I don't care for the style of it, but it's all great. Because I'm a fan of all kinds of music. I still listen to a lot of rock and roll and all that too. But we need to find a happy medium to go between traditional country music and the modern day country music. And they just aren't giving a fair shake to the traditional country music anymore like they used to. And it's not that people don't like it or don't want to ever hear it. It's just, they should throw an old George Jones song on today's radio once in a while, just to remind the people where this stuff all, play a Jimmy Dick song or a Porter Wagner song or a Hank Cochran song or something.
Even a Hank Williams song, right?
Yeah. Even WSM's getting away from the older country music like Hank Williams. You don't hear much of that anymore unless you're listening to Eddie Stubbs' way back when show. He'll play stuff then from the 40s and 50s, but even WSM is getting farther and farther away from it. You hardly ever hear anything like by Patsy Cline or any of them anymore on there, unless it's on a special show.
Right, or a Country Gold Saturday night, or that's what we have out here.
Yeah.
But
well, Eddie's on a real nice show. I can't remember the name of it. I can't remember each name of the show, but it's like way back something or other, and he tells you histories of songs. Heck, that man is a walking encyclopedia. I just love that Eddie Stubbs. I mean, he knows everybody who played on every one of those records and can tell you all kinds of stories about them.
that's awesome. Well, why don't we play another song? I have a Jerry Thomas song. Are You Sure Ain't Done It This Way? Now he's been with y'all too as well on the Music City Hayride show, right?
Yeah, you said Jerry J. Thomas, right?
Mhm. Yep.
Yeah, and he does a show over in Crossville, and I've been over there to that. I had to cancel my last appearance because of my battle with that cancer, but yeah, I'm looking forward to going back over to Crossville and working with Jerry again on that, and I'm sure he'll be back here again too pretty soon.
And he has been on the show as well. So but yeah,
a lot of times.
Yes. So hold on, and we'll play him, and then we'll come right back. Here's Jerry Thomas. Are You Sure Ain't Done It This Way?
Lord, it's the same old tune, fiddle and guitar. Where do we take it from here? Rhinestone suits and new shiny cars. It's been the same way for years. We need a change. Somebody told me when I got to Nashville, son, you finally got it made. Oh, Hank made a hit, and we're all sure that you will. But I don't think Hank done it this way. Did old Hank really do it this way? Lord, I've seen the world with a five-piece band, looking at the backside of me, doing my songs, one of his now and then. But I don't think Hank done it this way. Did old Hank really do it this way? Play it.
You are listening to the Paige Roberts Show on Intercom Radio Network. We are broadcasting live off of Blog Talk Radio. Our call-in number is 646-668-8941. I've been talking to CEO Music City Hayride Show, Dean Holmen, a little bit about everything. Now, Dean, when y'all start back up, when we're closing of the seasonal, when do y'all start back up?
Well, our last show is this Friday for this year for the 2018 season. Our 2019 season will start in April. and I don't have the exact date, but I think we're going to go to the second week of the month on either a Tuesday or a Friday night. And we'll do Tuesday, and then the next month we'll do the Friday, then a Tuesday and a Friday, and go through November again next year. And if we get some more funding, we'd like to add a second show each month, if we could.
Right.
Yeah. Our show this week, can I put a little plug in for our show this week and some special stuff going on for it?
Sure can. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I kind of wanted, because I want to make mention, we're really going to try to honor our veterans this Friday night, because this is, the 100th anniversary of the ending of World War I. I believe they actually ended it on November 11th, if I remember right. I don't have the statistics right in front of me, but I think that's what started Veterans Day or Armistice Day back then. But we got a Quilts of Valor that are going to be there this week. And the mission of the Quilts of Valor Foundation is to cover service members and veterans touched by war with a comforting and healing quilt of valor. And over 9,000 volunteers have worked on these quilts. They've given out over 202,000 of these quilts since 2003. This organization was started by a lady named Kathleen Roberts. And we were going to be giving away one of those quilts Friday night to a veteran. And it's just a way of giving back to some of these veterans that have been coming out. And we get a lot of them that come to our show. And this weekend, all veterans get into our show free, with no charge whatsoever to come into it. Because we just want them to come out and say hi to us, and we want to honor all of them. I know there's probably no living World War I veterans around anymore, but like you and I and all of us, we all have relatives in World War I. And my grandfather, Melvin Byam, and my great uncle, Clifford Johnson, both World War I vets. And I remember running around with their old World War I Army helmet on my head when I used to ride my little pedal tractor around as a kid.
Awesome. Yep, I do too. And since Veterans Day was it was Sunday, but we technically celebrate Monday as Veterans Day. I don't know how that came about, but that's what it has been about. And I have tried to mention, now I know you have Operation, am I saying that right? Operation Stand Down?
Right. That's one of them.
Right. And I have been really putting that out there because and a lot of people, we had somebody on Sunday that was talking about the same thing, and the main thing about our veterans being out on the street with no place to go. I just think that's the world's worst thing that there could ever be is our soldiers out on the street with no home to go to.
And that's because, our veterans can be harmed in ways other than just physical injuries too. The mind, a lot of these young men and women are coming back with problems that we just don't see, and they're slipping through the cracks. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to start this program, the Music City Hayride, and work with veterans, because, God bless our politicians who try to do a lot for them, but they can't do it all. It takes other people to help these veterans, and you wouldn't be having your show. I wouldn't be playing on my show if it weren't for these veterans. And we need to support them.
That's right. And post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, I know is one of the biggest symptoms of their issues. And, we don't recognize it. You can't see PTSD a lot of times.
No, you can't. And sometimes it doesn't show right up on them either. It comes from time. I got a friend from back home years ago, and he come home, and I'm telling you, this guy was really affected by this. But, we never talked about that back then. He come home from Vietnam, when he went over there, he was one way. When he come home, he was a totally different person. And no one ever heard of PTSD back then. And, you know, I've lost contact with this gentleman years ago, but boy, I wish I could, you know, get him some of the help that, you know, that's out there now for this. And I hope he's found it.
I know. And, you know, how do we find our veterans? I mean, and I'm sure not a lot of those veterans probably go to the doctor. There again, health insurance is another major issue for them.
Yeah, it is. And the VA hospitals are helping, and they're I know they're trying, but it's just, you know, look at the amount of veterans. I mean, we've been in conflict now since the late 90s, straight through. Think of all the men and women that are coming back. You know, I mean, this is going on. You know, World War I only lasted a couple of years, and World War II only lasted a few years. And even Vietnam, you know, as long as that lasted. But, you know, we've been in a conflict now for a long time, and people are really getting messed up. And we're getting a lot of veterans coming back that need help that, you know, we just can't get them all in there.
Got them all. So that's why you need to go to MusicCityHayrideshow.net and look for the, what's the link, Dean? And look for the organization.
Just donate. It says there's donor on there. And we're looking for reoccurring $20 a month donors, 66 cents a day. You know, and we find a way because, you know, we're only getting a few shows in a year right now. If we could, you know, triple this, think of how much more we could be given to like Operation Stand Down and the Honor and Valor Foundation and Music and Memory. Because that Music and Memory, other than dementia and Alzheimer's, they also do a lot of work with traumatic brain injuries and PTSD. So, I mean, it's not just for dementia and Alzheimer's, and it works for, it's been helping people with Parkinson's disease too.
Mm-hmm.
All come on there. And, you know, we did 5 shows this year, and we were able to over double what we gave last year, which is great. And I'm really looking forward to our awards dinner in December coming here to give these folks their checks again. And that'll be posted all over the place when we get that done.
Mm-hmm. Now, I know Jay Walker is also a part of the Music City Hayride Show. Like I said,
yeah. Ruth
is pretty good. Did we give a shout out to Ruth Brown? I know she does. She's always running around. Right, Ruth?
Yeah, she's always running around. She's probably listening into this. So I got to put one more commercial in here, too, if I could, for what's going on.
Yeah.
We now on our shows, every night we do a show, we have a celebrity spotlight segment. We introduce a celebrity that's taking their time out of their busy schedule to come down and watch our shows. And Paige, being that they keep this as a secret from me, I don't even know who it's going to be this week. Ruth won't keep, she gets me to come to my own show just so I can find out who she got to come out and say hi to the people. You know, last month it was Diane McCall come out, and DG Overby came out and said hi to everybody. It was great. Heart of Texas Records artist. And I don't know who she's got this week, but I'm sure it'll be someone. I know we got Margie Stilton going to be there. So unless she talked Margie into coming on and saying hi, but you never know who it's going to be. And, you know, we're always looking for people to get behind us, and even if they can't support us financially, they support us by showing up and saying hi to the people that come out to see the shows.
Right. Right. And Jay Walker, I have his Bubba Hyde. Why don't we play that and then we'll come right back?
Sounds good to me.
All right, hold on.
Okay.
Barney works down at the A&P. He drives a baby blue ANC. ain't missed a day of work in 13 years. And he's a fire department volunteer. He's got a yard that's always just been mowed. Elected stand since he was 10 years old. You never seen a more regular guy. But when the sun goes down on Friday night, slaps on his high karate aftershave, puts on his Elvis jacket custom made, gets in his patent leather zebra boots, fires up his super sport Malibu. He burns that rubber across the county line. Hey, honky tonk and put a closing time. You ought to see a metamorphosize from Barney Jekyll into Bubba Hyde. Monday morning, it's a suit and tie. Attention shoppers, there's a 2-for-1 buy. And Tuesday afternoon, he mans the wheel and makes his rounds with the bookmobile. He's got a Wednesday night canasta gang. Thursday's a tourney at the bowling lane. His friends would freak out if they only knew the party animal he turns into. Slaps on his high karate aftershave, puts on his Elvis jacket custom made, gets in his patent leather zebra boots, fires up his super sport Malibu. He burns that rubber across the county line. Hey, honky tonk and put a closing time. You ought to see a metamorphosize from Barney Jekyll into Bubba Hyde. You ought to see a metamorphosize from Barney Jekyll into Bubba Hyde.
You are listening to the Paige Roberts Show on Intercom Radio Network. We are broadcasting live off of Blog Talk Radio. Our call-in number is 646-668-8941. I've been talking to CEO Music City Hayride Show, Dean Holmen. Dean, I know you have a video for Dear Hank. Why don't you tell us of what went into putting that video together?
Well, I contacted a guy down here that does a lot of videos, a gentleman named Mark Dreyer, and he set most of this up for me. I couldn't do it. I kind of wrote a storyline of how I wanted the video to go, and I wanted to get some of the folks from the opera to be a part of it, and I asked him who we could approach that would talk to us and maybe help us, and he told us that he thought he could get little Jimmy Dickens and Porter Wagner to do it. And I said, I can't think of anything better. And so I came down here. I think we shot, I'm trying to remember the exact dates of this thing, but I think it was in November. If I look at my picture of me and Porter on the wall here, it was in November of 2004. I came down here for a whole week to shoot this video. We worked every day on this thing, going all over Nashville and to the museum and just getting footage in different places doing different things, and then shot it all. And there's about 3 hours worth of video footage I got here at the house, that we got for this, and then we snip it all down we're into the 4 minutes it takes for the song or for the video. So a lot of things got cut out, but there was a lot of neat stuff on there shot on like General Jackson and we
wow.
Things all over the place. It was a lot of fun, but there's a lot of work to it. And you can get a real quick little video made down here, for $300 or something for, that'll give people the idea. But that was a full picture, and that one actually could have been played on, on television because it was shot proper for it. Other than I didn't add closed captioning.
Awesome. Well, I'm always interested and our singer-songwriters or our musicians, and if they have video production like that, it's always interesting to talk to them about how they put their videos together. I guess each person has their own different way of doing that, you know?
Yeah, they do. In fact, like I said, you can do real quick videos too. And my third CD I got out, Heartaches and Honky Tonks, I actually have that in a CD DVD combo set. You know, I have them they're $15 at the show. You get the CD on one side of it, and then on the other side of it, it's a DVD of me doing all the songs on a video.
Oh.
And, you know, it's shot in the studio, and it was, you know, a one-take thing. It's pretty decent, but it's not a full-blown video like the Dear Hank video. I mean, that Dear Hank video, back in 2004, I paid over $5,000 to have that one done.
My God.
And that's 2004 prices, and you can probably double that now. But the other one, you know, was, I think I did. In fact, I don't think I even paid to have the video done. He said if I ordered 100 copies of it, he would throw in the video shoot of it. And it's me on a sound stage playing the songs, you know, and it came out good. I liked it, and it gives people an idea.
And like I said, that's the part of the music industry that I like to hear. Well, and two, putting on a show, because like I said, a lot of times people out there don't know what it takes when y'all do put on a show like the Music City Hayride show or any singer-songwriter show. You know, you got set up, you got lights, camera, and all that good stuff that goes in between and putting the show up.
Yeah, and even for our show, like Friday night show, you know, I got to get all the music together for this show prior to it. I got to get all the music to the band leader, and then he has to sit down and chart all these songs out, you know, write the music out for all the different musicians. Then he's got to get it all to them. And then these folks all got to sit down and listen to the stuff, look at their charts, and learn it, you know, and that's a lot of work for a band. You know, that's why I don't know how I could ever do this weekly, because, you know, we're asking that band to work on 28 songs every time they do a show. And sometimes, you know, the common ones like Your Cheating Heart, you know, that every band does is easy. But, you know, a lot of these artists are throwing some traditional stuff at these guys that you don't play on a regular stage every night of the week. That's a lot.
A lot. Wow. But yeah, I like hearing what goes on behind the scenes, because a lot of times our listeners, you know, I know somebody might be just thinking all they do is get on stage, or all we do is call into a radio show. I'm like, no, it takes a lot more than that to put something together, and it takes manpower.
Well, I bet your show alone is a lot of, I mean, keeping the artist straight, who's coming on when, and putting together. You played my song, you played Marty's song, Jerry J. I mean, you got to factor all this stuff together, and it's a lot of work for everything.
Yes, and getting the shows up. But I'm very, very fortunate now. I do have a manager, Ruth Allen Finley, who is doing my booking. So that's the blessing in disguise, you know.
Yeah, and I still hand pick everybody that goes on our show too, because first off, I want to make sure, again, not that I don't like the new country, but you can hear that in every club in Nashville every night of the week. I want to make sure the people that come on the show are traditional country, and we got to, you know, approve what they're doing, and it's also got to be clean country. I'm not saying it has to be not gospel music or Christian music, but I don't want, you know, any filthy songs on there. You
want PG or PG-13, no higher than, right?
Right, because, you know, I really stress to this. I want people to bring their children to these shows. because we need to expose them to this kind of music. Otherwise, you know, it's going to be a dying breed. Pretty soon it's going to be just like, I think I said this to you before once, it'll end up being like doo-wop music, you know, the stuff from the 60s, you know, 50s and 60s music, you know, it just won't have a place to be heard anymore, except for on public television or specials here and there. And it's too much of a part of our history to let it go.
I hope something changes with the way things are going with our country music. I know we're down to like 10 minutes left. We have Willie Carver and I have a Donnie Cunningham song left. But do you want to tell them again about the Music City Hayride Show and where they can come and tickets and things like that?
We certainly can. Our show is held at the Texas Troubadour Theater, right across the street from the Opryland Hotel in beautiful outside of downtown Nashville. We're out more towards the airport. But the Texas Troubadour Theater, home of the Midnight Jamboree for the past 47 years, at 2416 Music Valley Drive. 2416 Music Valley Drive. It's real easy to find. It's right next to the Fiddler's Inn and the guest house and all that right there in the little strip mall, big theater. Seats over 400 people. And our show this week is Friday night at 7 p.m. It's a $10 price tag to come in, but that $10 goes back to the charities, every dime of it. We don't keep any of that money. And you can find our schedule at musiccityhayride.net. That's musiccityhayride.net. And we got schedules, and you can become a donor there. We'd love that. Or just see what we're doing.
Awesome. What do you want to talk about, Willie Carver and Donna Cunningham? I know they have been on your show as well.
Well, Donna Cunningham, I never can say enough about her. She is just a class act. Her and Marty Dunn got the #1 song this week on the charts too. They did a remake of George Jones and Tammy Wynette's song, and boy, I'll tell you what, that is a killer. I told them the day they recorded that, and I listened to it out in their car. I said, "You'll have a #1 with that," and they did it this last week here. Yeah, Donna will be here this week too on our show Friday night. Donna Cunningham along with Alan Carl. And yeah, I wish Donna was living here in Nashville so she could be on every show, because she just brings such grace to the stage every time she comes out. And everyone loves her. I've never heard a person say a bad thing about Donna.
Awesome. I think I have an Alan Carl song too. I think we'll go out with the rest of our songs. I have Alan Carl, Let's Leave the Lights On, and I have a Donna Cunningham. Donna Cunningham is Hopelessly Devoted, and what's the other I got? Over in the Back of My Mind. And this has been Dean Holmen. I've been talking to CEO of Music City Hayride Show, Dean Holmen. And I appreciate you coming on, Dean. We'll have to keep in touch. And
I said, I sure enjoyed it, Paige. It's always a pleasure to come on and talk to you and your listeners and tell them about the Music City Hayride. And keep it country, folks. Keep it country.
That's it. And if you're out in the Nashville area, go out there and join in the Music City Hayride show this Friday night. And we'll be back here tonight. Who did I say I had? Randy Archer. That's right. Randy Archer, Randy Hackett. So be sure and tune into that. That's 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central Time for those out in the Nashville area. So we hope to see everybody back tonight. And thank you again, Dean, and I appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to come on.
You betcha, Paige. Anytime. Feel free to get a hold of me, and I'd be more than happy to.
Awesome. Yes, sir, I will. Thank you. Bye, y'all. Thank you again, Dean.
You betcha. Thanks for listening, everyone.
Bye, y'all.
but never lovers. To her we were no more than best of friends, and I was the shoulder she could cry on. But to tell you the truth, I seldom heard a word she said, 'cause in the back of my mind was candlelight and wine, with music playing soft and low. I drift away to that secret place where we're all alone. There's tangled sheets, a warm summer breeze, and her body close to mine. Yes, me and her, do not disturb on the door to the room in the back of my mind. I ran into her this morning, looking even better than she did those days. And we talked and laughed while reminiscing over coffee at a sidewalk cafe. While in the back of my mind was candlelight and wine, with music playing soft and low. I drift away to that secret place where we're all alone. There's tangled sheets, a warm summer breeze, and our body close to mine. Just me and her, do not disturb on the door to the room in the back of my mind. And there's tangled sheets, a warm summer breeze, and her body close to mine. Just me and her, do not disturb on the door to the room in the back of my mind. Back of my mind.
In the darkness we both pretend. In my mind you were her. In your fantasies I was him. But hearts heal, I guess, 'cause tonight I feel something new. And I realize by the look in your eyes you're feeling it too. Let's leave the lights on tonight. It's you I wanna hold tight. Why don't I just close the door? We won't pretend anymore. We'll let these old memories die. We'll be just you and I. Somehow it all feels so right. Let's leave the lights on tonight. I was just using you, and you were just using me. We made love in the dark, but only to fantasies. Oh, I wanted her, but now I find that I'm wanting you. And the way you touched me, girl, I believe you're wanting me too. Let's leave the lights on tonight. It's you I want to hold tight. Why don't I just close the door? We won't pretend anymore. We'll let these old memories die. We'll be just you and I. Somehow it all feels so right. Let's leave the lights on tonight. Let's leave the lights on tonight. It's you I want to hold tight. Why don't I just close the door? We won't pretend anymore. We'll let these old memories die. We'll be just you and I. Somehow it all feels so right. Let's leave the lights on tonight.
Guess mine is not the first heartbroken. My eyes are not the first to cry. I'm not the first to know. There's just no getting over you. Alone, I'm just a fool who's willing to sit around and wait for you. But baby, can't you see there's nothing left for me to do? Hopelessly devoted to you. But now there's nowhere to hide since you pushed my love aside. I'm out of my head, hopelessly devoted to you. Hopelessly devoted to you. Hopelessly devoted to you. My head is saying, fool, forget him. My heart is saying, don't let him go. Hold on to the end, and that's what I intend to do. Hopelessly devoted to you. But now there's nowhere to hide since you pushed my love aside. I'm out of my head, hopelessly devoted to you. Hopelessly devoted to you. Hopelessly devoted to you.
Hey, y'all, this is Danny Kinsey, and you're listening to the Paige Roberts Show on Intercom Radio Network.